Hi, I'm Oli, he, him pronouns. I'm the artistic director of The Greenhouse. The Greenhouse is a pop-up theatre built out of found and recycled materials. And it's a space that we fill with shows, with art, with events, workshops, social events, and are now coming up our first ever zero waste bar, which is exciting. And it's all a way to help inspire people to kind of feel more empowered and to live and to help them live and work more sustainably, both audience members and artists. The work we do is very rarely about climate and explicitly about climate, but it's much more about like how we connect with each other and with the natural world around us, because we believe that making those kind of connections helps people to feel empowered, and when people feel empowered, they make more of a difference.
You've probably already answered the next question there, but kind of, I know you found it in 2018, but what kind of inspired the kind of project overall?
Yeah, great question. So there's kind of a fun backstory to the whole thing, and it's a bit long, but I'll keep it as short as I can. A friend of mine, very good friend and colleague of mine, Henry Roberts, back in 2016, was working on a script. And basically, he put that on my desk in the summer of 2016. And it's a script about kind of violence and eco-terrorism and violence towards each other and towards the planet and that kind of thing. And it got me thinking, okay, this is a really interesting show. My background is in site-specific work and kind of working in outdoor and unusual spaces. And it really got me thinking, okay, well, how do we, if we want to deliver this message, how do we make sure that we're adhering to that message as well? Jump forward about a year, and I was doing a tour. So this was in 2018, actually. I was doing a tour, and we ended up at the Edinburgh Fringe at the end of the tour. And we'd sold about 90% of our tickets before we even got to Edinburgh. And we're there, we're handing out flyers, as I'm sure many people have experienced, in the pissing rain. And I kind of turned to my head of marketing, and I'm like, well, why are we doing this? Clearly, it's not effective. We've already sold loads of tickets. And she was like, and also, it's obviously really, really bad for the environment. And that's true. There are tons and tons and tons of paper waste that are generated each year. From the Edinburgh Fringe. And so all those kind of pieces together, this show that we really wanted to put on, but it started spiraling, and we kind of thought, okay, how do we make sure that we're doing it in a venue that works for us? Yeah, anyway, and so all those things kind of happened, and we wanted to really find to deliver a project in a way that worked with this show. And so it kind of spiraled, and we ended up with the Greenhouse, so, zero waste venue. We wanted to make sure the venue we were in even, delivered on the mission and the message. And so that's kind of the background, and then the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, and obviously, kind of 5 years down the line from kind of when the project started to where you're at the kind of now, you've got this kind of moving to 3 locations, as you say. You've got this zero waste bar that's going to open as well. Kind of, how's it kind of grown for you in that time?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really amazing. There's been lots of ups and downs. Essentially, we started the company in 2018, but our first big project was in 2019, which was 6 to 9 months before COVID started, and so the beginning of 2020 all the way through to kind of now, really, or the end of 2022 at least, have been kind of marked by that real tragedy. And so there's been a lot of ups and downs. Like, that was a huge challenge, but also we moved down to London. We're now going to loads of different locations and stuff. And somehow, by hook or by crook, we've managed to kind of stay open and keep working and keep delivering, the venue and everything that we're doing. So it's growing massively. At the moment, while we're building the venue at the moment, which is kind of why I'm not in an office. I'm hopping between different locations.
Yeah.
But I'm here from about 10, and I'm working from about 6, and then I'm going home, and then I'm sending emails and all those kind of good things until about 11 or midnight, and then I wake up to it all again. But it's exciting, and I think it's a really exciting project, and I'm hoping that it'll start to calm down at some point in the near future. But I'm not. I'm entirely convinced that's the way. It's exciting.
Yeah, and how did you kind of then go about deciding where you were going to take the venue for these kind of locations around London?
Yeah, well, so the Royal Docks reached out to us because they came to see us in 2021. They reached out and they were like, we'd really love to have you if possible. And we were looking at a few different options for a while, and we ended up with this, which is great. We've been at Canary Wharf before, which is our second location relationship there, and I reached out to our contact there and was just like, hi, do you fancy us coming back? And they were like, yeah, it's really exciting, and it's great because we already have a relationship with those with that area. And then we kind of realized, okay, so we're doing a couple of things, one quite central but to the east, and one here, which is very east. And so we wanted to do something kind of at the other side. And so we were looking at other locations that might, have an exciting event to offer, that might have space that we could like put up the venue. And that's how we came across Battersea. And that's how we've been kind of conversing with them and chatting with them and trying to make that possible as well. So yeah, it's kind of, we're looking at where are places where it's for us. See what we can do. We kind of have had discussions with a few councils, that kind of thing, but we found that working with these organisations has been like really effective and really exciting for us.
Yeah, and obviously, as you say, kind of sustainability and the environmental kind of message you're doing anyway is massively important. But what kind of reaction have you kind of had from the public with the venue?
Yeah, so I mean, that's a really good question. I think positive. People like it. It's fun. It's good. People think it's good generally. We're not really about having that environmental message. That's not really what we do. I think the ideal scenario is that a person comes to the venue and doesn't even necessarily know that it's a zero waste venue. Because they come, they spend a few hours here, they see some great art, they have a drink, they have a good time, and then they kind of leave and something else and that was zero waste. I think allows people to kind of make these decisions, make that life decisions. It makes making sustainable decisions easy, and I think that's really important for any sustainability work. It's really important to make it easy for everyone, because you don't want to make it hard, basically.
Yeah, of course. I know you kind of touched on the kind of the work that's going to go on, but what kind of work can audiences expect to find at the greenhouse?
Yeah, so we offer a whole range of different things. While we're in the Royal Docks, we're working on with their Sea Change exhibition, which has a range of kind of art installations, some like sculpture, some video. We've got our screening shed, which we're just putting the finishing touches on now, which is all very exciting. And then alongside that, we have our program of events and workshops. So events are things like clothes swaps. We've got a sauna coming in. We've got loads and loads and loads of different things like that. Workshops are kind of more practical things often with young people, things where they can kind of like learn and develop their kind of sustainability skills and that kind of thing. And then once we get to Canary Wharf and Battersea, we're going to be doing that's when we start our programming, like our actual shows. So we've got our headline show, To the Ocean, which I'm working on, which is a modern retelling of the Selkie myth. We're starting rehearsals on that next week, which is very exciting. And then a program of incoming shows as well. And I wish I could sum that up really well and really succinctly, but unfortunately it's quite varied. Not unfortunately, excitingly, quite varied. There's, family shows, musicals, drama, comedy, even some music. And the listings for that are going to be going live on our website in the next week or so. So people can kind of have a look there and see what they might want to come along and see. We've got probably about 15 companies coming into us at Canary Wharf, and I imagine it'll be about the same at Battersea as well. We've got about 15 companies coming into us at Canary Wharf, and then we've probably got about the same at Battersea as well, and then plus our headline shows at 7 p.m. And so it's quite an exciting kind of varied, differing range of things. So really exciting.
Yeah, and as you kind of touched on, this is kind of the big year, kind of post-COVID, that you kind of been able to get back on track, I suppose. And what kind of then do you hope the future plans are going forwards for the greenhouse?
Yeah, I'd love to find somewhere for it to sit, for a longer period. I'd love to find somewhere for it to be for kind of 6 months, a year, 2 years. That's my real goal. So if anyone's watching and they have kind of a patch of land, we'd love to have the greenhouse here. Please do let me know. But that's our big goal, I think. We want to find somewhere that we can kind of stay so that we can build relationships with the local people. Then move on to
what does theatre mean to you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been working in theatre for 7 years, and I think I rarely work in traditional spaces and kind of end on theatres and that kind of thing. I think for me, it's just being with people in a space, sharing a story that's important to you and to the people you're working with, the cast. And just being present and kind of it's a meditation in a way, right? It's like taking a moment to be present with other people and learning and hearing what they have to say. I'm sorry if that's a bit of a rubbish answer, but I think it's really that. It's just that sense of being together. And I think that's what we really missed during COVID.
Yeah, no, I agree. One thing that fascinated me on your website is how is your walks of all the waterways going?
Great question. Yeah, we've done most of them now. So we've done all the canals, and obviously we've done the Thames. And so now we're kind of looking into all the other little rivers, starting up the Lee Valley and deciding where is London and where isn't London is a big one as well. But no, it's going well. We're well on the way to having it all completed.
Good. You should make like a documentary about it or something.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about writing a book.
Do it.
Yeah.
But my final question for you, to kind of summarize up everything, why should anyone out there come along and visit the greenhouse?
Yeah, great question. It's a lot of fun. We're trying to make the greenhouse just a really fun, exciting place to be. And the combination of our exciting bar, our fun program of shows, our events and workshops, hopefully kind of all fit together to make it a really appealing and exciting place to just spend time, not just come and see a show. If that isn't appealing enough, don't tell anyone, but pints are £4.95. So that's a pretty good reason to come down. I don't think getting change from a tenner for 2 pints in London, unheard of. So I'd say that's a good reason as well.
Bargain. But yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. So the greenhouse is coming to Royal Docks from the 11th to May to the 4th of June. Canary Wharf, 14th June. I'm trying to read my writing here. 14th June till 19th. 19th
of June to the 14th of July.
19th, yeah. I can't read my writing. And Battersea Power Station from the 7th of August to the 3rd of September. And I will put links to the websites and everything, as you say, kind of the events are going to be coming out in the next
Amazing.
So I will link it up.